Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're actually going to be talking about Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp without me screaming my head off, and going over the trailer and just sort of going through it because obviously if you're watching this, you've probably seen my reaction to it. Like, I was genuinely that excited about seeing this. This is one of my favourite games back on the Game Boy Advance. As well as the DS games. I never thought we'd see it again. So I wanted to go through it and just kind of give my thoughts on stuff because, like, I've watched the Treehouse gameplay stuff, and we've primarily only seen Advance Wars 1. We haven't seen the Advance Wars 2, but now we know WayForward's making it as well. I think in collaboration with Intelligent Systems. It's nice to see that this is happening because I have a feeling Intelligent Systems are pretty much just doing. I think they make WarioWare, but primarily they're doing Fire Emblem and Paper Mario now. So I think this game really did need to be handed off to someone else. Anyway, let's go through this trailer. So something I didn't pick up on. You hear that boop boop noise? That is the sound of someone capturing a building. I didn't click when I was listening to it. I'm now going back and rewatching it. So already we've got that WayForward kind of look, now that we know it's WayForward, that kind of look. Fantastic render or design of Nell doing her, you don't see this, but she's doing her CO power. So when you see these like little cinematics, that's when you trigger CO powers in the game. Hers is Lucky Lady or something like that, or Lady Luck. And we get like our first look at the game. Now I've seen some people complain about the art style, it's a bit too like toy look, but honestly, like, Advance Wars was on the Game Boy Advance. It did have a very specific style, but I think this works really well. It's kind of isometric, but it's also angled because it's sort of diagonally looking down. But we get to see, you know, everything's got a shiny, plasticky look to it. It's very clean. It's very clear. I actually like what I'm seeing. Yeah, I liked the pixel art in the original games. I think they look really cool. This is very similar to DS and Days of Ruin or Dark Conflict, depending on which where you are in the world on that one. But we've got mech, we've got mech unit here, we've got artillery, we've got medium tanks, small tanks. I actually think I remember this mission. And they're showing off a lot of this gameplay. They're showing off certain missions from the campaign. That's primarily what they were showing off. We've also got, as you can see, the different animations between different designs for the infantry as well. Less so with the vehicles, but when you see actual combat, which you'll see in a sec, you'll see that they do have their designs from the original game. You see the orange star ones have the little stars on them. Blue moon ones don't. And also you see the faces animate. So we see Olaf up here, who looks amazing, animate with like a look of shock. He's like, and I think Nell looks happy. There we go. And then we get the new animation for the soldiers jumping up and down on the building, which is the boop whoop whoop noise. So far, everything, like, after watching gameplay of this, I like what they're doing with it. Like, I know that this game could potentially look like even more crazy, but I like the fact that they're kind of keeping the simple design of what the original games had. If they end up doing Dual Strike and they end up doing Dark Conflict for Switch, or a brand new one, which would be also really cool, then I could see maybe them doing something different with the art style, but we'll see. And then we get actually like some combat of the different terrain here. I should have picked up on this, but the fact that the mechs are on the mountain, which is really cool. You can only go up on the mountains in this game with the infantry. You actually get to see them shooting down at the APC that's here, and you can see the different defense that you gain from being in these places. I also get to look at Andy. Andy's looking pretty sweet. Oh, something else as well. Is it Nell's theme? I think it's Nell's theme that's playing in the background. Is it Nell's or is it Sammy's? I can't remember now. And like, we get a look at Eagle here. The anti-aircraft guns are looking sweet. The jets look amazing. I love the designs of these jets. And there's Max. Could be Max's music. I literally can't think of whose music this is because I'm sure it's not. I know it's not Andy's, but Max is the. And we get a look at We also get a look at Drake, as well as the helicopters and the boats. So everything is like exactly how I could possibly want in this game. It's looking so like... There's Sammy. We get Camby. Well, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Camby. I've always called him that. And then you also get to see them stood in the water with these guys on the bridge. So they're really doing a good job of reflecting where you're stood. They did this with the original as well, showing off the landscapes that you're stood in versus what happens in the battle. And then we get a good look at like the standard kind of like how much stuff costs and what you can buy. Like if you've never played Advance Wars before, it's all about getting a lot of credits per turn, so you can build new units a turn, and eventually you win most of the matches by either capturing the headquarters or by destroying every unit on the screen. And we're seeing, you know, I'm a big fan of the normal tank, getting a lot of these. And artillery and rockets are some of my favourite things. But it looks cool. Like the unit design looks pretty sweet actually. And all these, the anti-air looks a little bit different. But then I got to remember these are now like 3D models. They never used to be. On the right hand side here, we do get to see like how much far it can move, what its vision is, fuel, and then what it's good against. I think circle is good. I think triangle is bad. I honestly can't remember. I never figured this thing out. And they also have a machine gun. And it tells you, like, you know, units defensive and offensive ratings are the highest of the ground units. So a little bit about the tank. Very clean interface. We also have Andy up here at the top. Here's the CO part. I should have pointed out. The CO power bar is here. There's your money, and there's the character you're playing as. And this moves depending on which it'll flip from side to side depending on which side of the screen you're looking at currently. I assume anyway, because that's what it did in the original. But we also see, you know, loaded on the APC there, so he's carrying something. He's just built a medium tank there. And honestly, like, everything about this is basically what I'd want from an Advance Wars game on Switch. I recently talked about this, saying, look, you know, this is a series that I absolutely want a new game in, but, you know, if they did HD remakes for the Switch, then I think that's a great way to get people in. And then lo and behold, like a week later, it's happened. But everything I'm seeing in this, like, despite people's criticisms of the art style stuff, I'm really enjoying. Also, down on the bottom right here, he shows you life, ammo, fuel, how much defense it currently has, the building it's on, and it's like a base. So they're giving a lot of information, which I love. They're making that this is a tactical turn-based game, and you want to be able to have a very clean interface, make it very obvious how to do things, and this looks great. Everything's very clean and clear, and it looks great. We'll get to see. Oh, here you go. There's a different model of this tank. I think this is a light tank for Blue Moon, because you can see there. Because there's the medium tank, and you can see the difference between the medium tank that they have, or the Orange Star have, versus the Blue Moon one. And he's shooting and that is if you turn the animations off. You can turn the animations off and just attack things. Something I should probably point out. Let me just pause it at the right moment here. You can see the damage amount is back as well when you're attacking something, so that's really useful to know. You know if you're going to one-shot something or whatever. And there's a bit of Andy talking. He's got a very long neck here. I don't know why his neck's so long.
Thrilling stories, memorable characters.
And we get to see Grit using his CO power, which is the finger guns, which gives him increased range, I believe.
And vibrant gameplay are in store.
And we get to see some Fog of War here as well, which is really, really cool.
As you lead the commanding officers to victory.
I can't stress how important it is for this game, for any game right now that's in Nintendo's back catalog, to be on Switch. And the reason for that is because of how well every game is selling on Switch. You know, whether that be 2 or 3 million copies or, you know, 10 million copies. You look at some of the games like Mario Party sold like 10 million copies. Animal Crossing has sold almost like 30 million copies. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold like 30 million copies. Smash has done like 25 million. Like, the games they're bringing out on the Switch are legitimately selling really well. And so it's super important that things like WarioWare, things like this, if they make an F-Zero, these games, if they can hit 4 to 5 million copies, or even like 3 million in the case of Advance Wars. Because I don't think Advance Wars ever sold super well. I could be wrong. I don't know if it ever hit the million mark. But you know, if you suddenly bring this out and it hits like 3.5 mil, that means we're much more likely to see this going forward, and it shows that people want it. Same with Metroid Dread. Like, Metroid Dread and Advance Wars are the 2 most important games you buy this year.
Play the first 2 Advance Wars.
And also, we're getting Advance Wars 1 and Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising. Both games are fantastic. I've completed both these games on the original Game Boy Advance. Something that is going to be incredible is to see all of the other COs that we haven't seen in the game so far, especially in Black Hole Rising, because there are super CO powers, there are more characters, a lot of music. We're obviously hearing a lot of the rock as this trailer's been going on. I've been hearing the themes for it, so yeah, I'm
Campaigns
super
in
excited.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, marching on to Nintendo Switch.
December 3rd, though, that was the shock. I hope they release. I'd love an amiibo for this. I hope they release a lot of stuff for this game, and hopefully a physical version
This
of it.
holiday, pre-orders begin today on Nintendo eShop.
And so, you know, like, I could bring up some of the footage from Treehouse. They're just showing off the gameplay. Everything in this trailer is, you know if you're gonna buy this already, because what you've seen, you go, oh, that's really interesting. Right now, it's super important because we've got people like me, the older generation, who remembers playing these things on Game Boy Advance and DS, who are absolutely excited to see anything Advance Wars come back. And then hopefully this new art design, whether you like it or not, should hopefully bring in a new audience, a younger audience. And I wouldn't be surprised. They didn't really tell us a lot. We've seen a lot of Advance Wars 1, but hopefully what we will see is maybe accessibility options and easy mode for some people. And hopefully just get people involved. And yes, the multiplayer seems to be coming back. They've got co-op, but I think that's just like, work together kind of thing. I am excited to see more stuff about this game, what they plan on bringing. I'm expecting another Nintendo Direct in sort of September, October time. Probably before Metroid Dread, so probably September. And I think they'll show off more about Advance Wars then. But I couldn't be happier. This is a franchise that deserves to have a chance, and this is the best way to do it. And now they need to do this with F-Zero as well. Bring back, do a brand new. If you're not going to do a brand new F-Zero, do an HD remaster and or a new version of GX with all the AX content in there, and put it out and see if people buy it. Maybe put it out at a slightly cheaper price. Don't put it out at a full, put it out at maybe in American dollars, I guess. Put it out at maybe like $50 instead of $60. Knock a bit of a price off it, so it's a bit more, a bit of an easier entry. But I'm really hoping that this and Metroid Dread are going to do well, so we start to see Nintendo, and WarioWare of course, start to see Nintendo looking at these other franchises thinking, okay, cool, people do want to play these games, and hopefully go from there. So yeah, I'm incredibly excited. I'll probably do a video talking about all of Nintendo's E3 soon anyway, but I feel like this is the one game that I needed to talk about, and yeah, I'm super excited for this. Anyway, thank you very much for watching as always. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down in the description below as always. And until next video, I will see you then.